Hi everyone, today we're talking about a time in London referred to as the Great Stink. In the summer of 1858, a heat wave near dried up the River Thames and revealed an epic accumulation of human waste built up over hundreds of years. In the 1800s, London had a surging population, aging sewer systems, and growing industries for which there was little regulation. The growing use of the new invention of the toilet in the 1800s also further stressed London's water. Up until the late 1800s, if you disposed of sewage, it'd be either into a cesspit, which were overflowing into fresh water sources, or you'd use a sewer, which ran into the Thames River, on which London is built. Now, the Thames is a tidal river, so it doesn't actually wash everything out to sea like you might think. As the tide comes and goes, much of the water deep inland simply sloshes back and forth, never making it out to sea. The stink that was created by this problem was so bad that the newly built Parliament buildings, built on the Thames, could hardly hold session. They even attempted to pour lime chloride on the curtains to mask the smell. London's rich and poor were affected, not just by the stink, but from the cholera outbreaks as sewage backed into fresh water sources. Cholera is a bacterial infection which spreads through feces coming into contact with drinking water. Despite some evidence from scientists such as John Snow that cholera came from contaminated water, people believed that the stink, or bad air called miasma, was responsible for the disease. It's easier to believe something you can see, or in this case smell, over bacteria in water, which is less obvious. The Thames, one of the world's most iconic rivers, came to be associated only with death. Even the traditional river god of the Roman era, from the founding of the city, became a satirical icon of pestilence. The river water also took on other names like monster soup. It is thought that at the peak of the cholera outbreak in the mid-1800s, 2,000 Londoners were dying per week from the disease. Luckily, the government, nor even the royal family, could escape the horror of the stench of the river, and an incredible sum of £3 million was granted to build the most advanced sewer system the world has ever seen. Engineer Joseph Basiljet would design a series of interconnecting sewers that took the sewage beyond the metropolitan area, close enough to the river's mouth to wash out to sea. An impressive system of pumping stations guaranteed the flow of water and sewage. Many of these pumping stations are considered iconic heritage buildings in London, and are rather beautiful considering their purpose. The plan further introduced 3 embankments to London to help the river flow more smoothly. These embankments remain significant landmarks today. The sewer systems, built of stone and brick, now over 150 years old, remain in use. These sewer systems were constructed to be twice as large as needed. The construction was fully completed by 1875, taking 16 years, but it made a significant impact on the city's health. Parliament further introduced a series of laws governing water and waste, which increased safety. It was, for example, no strange event for a cesspit filled with human and industrial waste to explode from accumulated gases. Joseph Basiljet, who became a figurehead for the thousands who combated the Great Stink, was knighted in 1875. His project saved thousands of lives. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this video on the Great Stink. Remember, heroes aren't just the people who fight in wars, but those who build underground or fight disease to keep us safe.